So, Elisa, for this last one, this very last one of our season 2, our field guide to Italy, I thought maybe we would turn the tables and I would ask you a couple of questions.
Va bene.
Elisa, what would you say if someone says a mean thing under their breath?
Cafona is one of my choice words, but anything like cretino, stupido, idiota, maleducato.
Now, if you are Tony Soprano, what do you think Tony might say?
You would dial it up, like...
Whoa!
I mean,
hey! Yeah?
Tony Soprano doesn't mess around.
Italian for Travelers, episode 23, the Conversations and Insults episode. In the last episode of this season, we graduate from survival Italian into conversation starters so that we can make lasting friendships. Elisa also confesses the not-so-well-loved traits of her fellow Italians and gives us a healthy list of Italian insults and bad words, both polite and offensive, as a graduation present. A warning, this last bit is not for sensitive ears.
Ciao! Benvenuti a Italian for Travelers, the second season of the Postcards from Italy podcast. I'm Elisa, a native Italian speaker and teacher. Although I was born in Emilia-Romagna, I've spent the last 18 years living in the US and teaching Italian to mostly American students. Along the way, I've learned a lot about what first-time travelers and new Italian language learners really want to know. In short, they want to live la Dolce Vita glamour, but without the grammar. This season, let's stamp your passport with some Italian vocabulary, cultural tips, dialogues, and practice lessons with my real-life student and friend, Erin. But we only share a fraction of what we talk about on our streaming episodes.
Visit www.postcardsfromitalypodcast.com for our bonus materials and subscribe to our newsletter for updates.
With our podcast and bonus materials, I can help you transform from just another tourist into a curious traveler. Okay. Here we go. Remember, don't worry if you cannot understand much during your first listen. Just relax, sit back, and enjoy la dolce lingua. Ok, cominciamo. Let's begin. Cari amici, benvenuti. Welcome to the last, can you believe it, episode.
You've come a long way, guys.
And if you made it to here, you're going to get your reward.
I am so excited. I can't believe we got to this point.
So lesson 23 is titled Come chiacchierare con gli italiani e insultarli.
How to chat and interact with Italians and insult them. And this stay with us on this. We have a lot to say here.
We do. And you'll have a lot to say after we teach you all these choice words. Since the beginning of the second season of Postcards from Italy, we've been encouraging you to interact with Italians in their native language. And today, we're going to give you a few more reasons why you should get to know us better. We'll give you a few tips on how Italians interact with others. We'll give you vocabulary to start a conversation in Italian and getting to know each other. Then we'll give you a few pointers on how to make friends with Italians and some of the vocabulary you need to keep the conversation going. And finally, here comes your rewards. We'll explore some of the less pleasant traits of Italians and we'll teach you a few choice words, some polite and some impolite, to let an Italian know that maybe you've just had enough of them.
You were telling me earlier, these are the words that just in case you need them, like just in case you've had more than enough of some of the less positive traits of an Italian person, it's the way to send them packing.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you said.
In Italian we say that we send you to that village. Starts with an H, but you send them packing.
So if that village is an H-E double hockey sticks, right?
Esatto,
okay.
Esatto. So let's start with our idiom for the day. L'asino si conosce dalle orecchie e il matto dal molto parlare.
You can tell a donkey by its ears and a lunatic by their excessive talking.
That says a lot about Italians, right? We love talking.
Okay.
Yep, and we're crazy, but we're creative.
Yeah, it's getting spicy up in here.
All right, let's start with this dialogue.
Don't worry if you don't understand everything. It's more to train your ear to be listening to Italian.
Al bar.
At a bar.
Buongiorno signora, cosa le do?
Un caffè, per favore.
Arriva subito. È da qualche giorno che la vedo qui nel nostro bar. Io sono Chiara. E lei come si chiama?
Cristi, piacere.
Piacere mio. E da dove viene, signora Cristi?
San Diego.
Ah, che bello, in California. Che lavoro fa a San Diego?
Let's see. I was a teacher, but I'm retired now. Ero un insegnante, ma sono in pensione. E lei? È differenze?
No, sono di Pisa. I miei genitori e i miei nonni abitano ancora là.
Pisa, che bella.
Adesso però vivo qui a Firenze con il mio ragazzo. E lei, signora Cristi, è sposata?
Sposata? Married? No, sono divorziata e ho una figlia. Abita a New York.
Ah, New York, che sogno. È da quando ero bambina che voglio andarci.
E lei ha dei figli?
No, non ancora. Ma ho un cane, Briciola. Le faccio vedere una foto.
Un cane? Oh, I love dogs. What a cutie! Che carino! If you didn't understand all of that, no problem. We go over it in much more detail in the extended version that's available in our bonus materials. Now let's jump into some cultural tips. So, Elisa, we often talk about this. Why should you talk to Italians? Well, hopefully by now you already have a few reasons of your own. And hopefully after 22 episodes, this season of our podcast has provided you with a few more. However, just in case you need some extra motivation to chat and interact with Italians, we're happy to help you with that. Italians are friendly people. They're hospitable, family-oriented, and good-humored. Great qualities that will actually show more once they get to know you a little bit better. Italians can also be tasteful, very charming, and convivial. But above all, they make people feel valued, appreciated, and at home.
See. However, this warmth they like to extend to other people may not always be obvious right away, and you might have to wait until you get to know an Italian a little better to really experience it. Oftentimes, to the dismay of some foreigners who value personal space, this warmth manifests itself as physical closeness, a trait which some cultures may find distasteful. So we'll make sure to teach you some choice words and expressions that you can use to navigate this type of situation as well. Here are some classic Italian traits and habits that you should be aware of before your trip.
So this is well documented, and you can find videos of this online. Obviously, as a podcast and as an online course, you can't see Elisa speaking with her hands, but Italians speak with their hands. They emphasize what they say with animated gestures and facial expressions. This colorful form of nonverbal communication is common throughout the peninsula. It may have originated between the 14th and the 19th century, when large parts of the country were occupied by France, Austria, and Spain. At a time when most people in the country were uneducated and could only speak their local dialect, hand gestures became the language of choice when interacting not only with foreigners, but with other Italians as well.
That's right.
Yeah, my Sicilian Aunt Harriet, she's half Sicilian, her husband used to, as a joke, like have her sit on her hands while she talked, because he's like, it's the only way for her to be speechless.
Straight jacket.
Yes. But it makes sense that if you're trying to trade, like trade your wares or whatever, if you've listened to season 1, we've talked a lot about Italy being an agrarian society, like having a lot of agriculture. And if you're trying to trade with Austria or with other areas.
Well, even among themselves. Italians never spoke a unified language until pretty much TVs were introduced and became a thing.
What? Wait a second.
It was the TV and the radio that really allowed all Italians all over the country to hear standard Italian.
Are you kidding? That is so fascinating to me.
Most people who grew up or were young before the 50s when TVs were introduced sporadically, like my parents say, they grew up speaking dialect. They spoke dialect among themselves. My mom would always speak dialect to neighbors, her sisters, everyone. And then when they met somebody they didn't know or they felt they had to be a little bit more formal, they would switch to standard Italian, which they mostly learned by watching TV.
Wow.
Because finally TV was providing everyone from the Dolomites to Sicily with the same language, consistently with standard Italian.
That is so fascinating.
Yeah.
So it's not just you, my dear listeners, that are learning Italian. It's also Italians were just learning Italian. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So the gestures, that was really important until the dawn of television technology.
Yeah, because before speaking Italian was a privilege, like standard Italian was a privilege of the educated. Even people who speak dialect, they'll recognize Italian, so they'll be able to speak Italian to
So
you.
they code switch between,
Si.
like
Yes,
me
of
with
course.
my Valley Girl accent. I can still hear
Totally.
you. Yeah, I can still hear if you're speaking English.
Okay.
Yeah, when we did season 1, we relied upon a lot of native Italian speakers, like friends and family of Elisa's and other friends that we've made over the course of a couple years. And I am not trained enough with my ear to be able to hear all of the accents, but you could tell.
Oh, yes. Every Italian can always tell.
You could tell the guys who are from Milan that were in our episode, your parents. It was really fun to have all of those different voices. And we'll have those in season 3.
We'll go back to our
we'll go back
dialogues.
we'll go back to a quilt of Italian dialect.
Okay. In a culture that loves to debate, Italians speak loudly and enthusiastically to communicate their ideas and emphasize their opinions. We're passionate by nature, and it shows in the way we speak too. Unfortunately, because of this enthusiasm for communication, we naturally often cut off people when they speak so we can voice our opinion before they're done expressing theirs. Sadly, this is a common behavior, and one that is socially accepted throughout the country. If an Italian cuts you off while you're talking to them, just raise your voice and continue speaking. You'll feel like a local in no time.
I love that you wrote that. That's hilarious. You can just raise your voice a little bit more. You'll get heard.
Because if you speak louder, you're right.
That's what it is. So when speaking to each other, Italians tend to stand much closer to one another than people from other cultures. Personal space is not really a concept we're familiar with in Italy. If you've ever been on a crowded bus in Il Bel Paese, you'll easily understand. While the lack of personal space may be off-putting to some, for Italians, it's just an expression of warmth and sociability. Italians also like to touch people, men and women alike, when they interact with them. But this type of intimate gesture doesn't necessarily come from a place of sexual attraction. It is especially important to be aware of this if you come from a culture where touching is interpreted as a sign of romantic interest, as you could get yourself in a little bit of trouble if you misunderstand these social norms. And we did have a lot of key phrases from episode 21. We had a lot of safety and safety for women phrases like don't touch me, enough, stop it. And then at the end of this episode, we'll have a couple of insults as well if you're in a safe enough place where you can use them.
Yeah, more than a handful.
When greeting each other, Italians kiss one another on the cheek multiple times, a common behavior even amongst men. This is not to be interpreted as an indication of their sexual orientation, not even when men occasionally walk arm in arm. Again, this is just an expression of the candid warmth that Italians display when interacting with others.
Yes.
I see that a lot.
Yeah. We're just culturally more prone to physical interaction, and we don't see anything wrong with it.
I think it's charming. It's something I really love about Italy.
A couple years ago, I was talking to one of my students, and she is from Finland. And she was telling me how people in Finland really respect and value personal space. And so she was saying, for example, when you line up for the bus, there'll be a few feet of distance between one person and the next. To me as an Italian, it was like talking to an alien. It was science fiction. Like Italians have no concept whatsoever of personal space, whatsoever.
Yeah, no. Why?
And it's easy, you'll see easily everywhere if you visit the country.
But she was one of your students?
Mm-hmm.
Was it really difficult for her to go to Italy and be around like the complete opposite?
Yes, actually, yes.
Yeah, I could
Even
see that.
here, like in California, she sometimes found social interactions difficult.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, well, California's warm, but Italy is hot. Like,
oh yeah,
in personal interaction. So I don't know. She thinks she got burned. All right, let's have one more tip. While many Italians may act indifferent to you before they actually get to know you, they'll become much more friendly, cordial, and helpful afterwards. This is when you'll really get to appreciate an Italian's innate sense of community and friendliness. The barista at the cafe near your hotel may remember your name and your favorite brew. The owner of the pensione you're staying at may offer you a ride to the train station when you're having a hard time finding a taxi. Your tour guide may invite you to join a family get-together after they've shown you around town. So how do you get an Italian to warm up to you when you're just a face in the crowd? A simple conversation, even better if it's in Italian. We won't care about mistakes, I promise. We'll be too delighted in watching you show appreciation for our language and culture to care about your verbs being conjugated correctly.
This is one of the main things you told me when I first started learning Italian.
Yes.
And my gold star, perfectionism. My husband calls me Hermione from the Harry Potter series. It was really hard for me to feel comfortable making mistakes. But you were like, when you visit, you have to just try. You just have to try.
Yes.
And when I do, even if I say the smallest thing and I feel like I've had a connection with another person, it is so worthwhile, so
Yes.
rewarding.
Yes, we do truly appreciate people showing effort and appreciating our language. We're very proud of our language, our history, our art, our culture. For us, it's such a huge compliment when you try and speak to us in Italian. Now, this might be different if you are visiting a very touristy
I was going to say this.
like Rome, Florence, Venice, places where there are thousands of tourists going through the town like every day. People are not so inclined to take the time to have a conversation, and you'll find that they oftentimes want to speak English to you to just get the conversation done and get through their day. But if you move out of the big touristy places, you'll encounter a very different attitude to you speaking Italian to the locals. They'll love it.
I also was able to ask people for where to go for lunch. Like we'd had a small, simple conversation.
Yes.
And then I would ask, is there a bar qui vicino? And we found some great places.
Yep. It's all the little bits and pieces that we've been teaching you throughout this season.
Yeah.
And any one of these is great to start a conversation with. And you'll be surprised at the magic that happens when you utter those first few words.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what happens. Like all of the examples that we just gave you in this last tip of the barista remember your name, of the tour guide inviting you to a family get together. These are actually things that have happened to my students. And they came back home here in California after visiting Italy, and they were enthusiastic. They couldn't wait to tell me, you were right. I started talking to this person and they remember my name and they started talking to me and they invited me. And it's true. It's really true. We don't care if you mess up an adjective, a noun. We don't care. Just go ahead and start that conversation.
Yeah. We're going to get into a couple of words and phrases to start conversations here.
Parole ed espressioni essenziali per iniziare una conversazione.
Essential words and phrases about starting a conversation.
Simple communication is our goal. Therefore, we often provide the default masculine form of a noun or an adjective, and we prioritize formal communication over informal, unless otherwise noted. Don't worry, Italian speakers will still understand you.
What is your name?
Formal. Come si chiama? Informal. Come ti chiami?
My name is.
Mi chiamo.
Nice to meet you.
Piacere.
How are you?
Formal. Come sta? Informal. Come stai?
Very well, thank you. And you?
Formal. Molto bene, grazie. E lei? Informal. Molto bene, grazie. E tu?
Where are you from?
Formal. Da dove viene? Informal. Da dove vieni?
I'm from plus the city, in plus the state.
Vengo da più città, in più stato.
I live in plus the city, in plus the state.
Vivo a più città, in più stato.
Are you traveling by yourself?
Formal. When speaking to a man, viaggia da solo. Formal. When speaking to a woman, viaggia da sola. Informal. When speaking to a man, viaggi da solo. Informal. When speaking to a woman, viaggi da sola.
This is my.
When introducing a man, questo è mio. When introducing a woman, questa è mia.
Boyfriend or girlfriend.
Ragazzo or ragazza.
Husband or wife.
Marito or moglie,
son or daughter,
figlio or figlia,
friend,
male, amico, female, amica,
brother or sister,
fratello or sorella,
dad or mom,
papà or mamma,
grandpa or grandma,
nonno or nonna,
uncle or aunt,
zio or zia,
cousin,
male, cugino, female, cugina,
nephew or niece,
nipote,
grandson or granddaughter.
nipote,
Are you married?
formal, male, è sposato? Formal, female, è sposata? Informal, male, sei sposato? Informal, female, sei sposata?
I am married.
Male, sono sposato. Female, sono sposata.
I am divorced.
Male, sono divorziato. Female, sono divorziata.
Are you single?
Formal, è single? Informal, sei single?
I am single.
Sono single.
I have a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Ho un ragazzo or una ragazza.
Do you have any children?
Formal, ha dei figli? Informal, hai dei figli?
Yes, I have a child.
Son, sì, ho un figlio. Daughter, sì, ho una figlia.
I have a boy or girl.
Ho un maschio or una femmina.
Yes, I have 2 or 3 children.
Sì, ho 2 or 3 figli.
My children are blank years old.
I miei figli hanno anni.
No, I don't have any children.
No, non ho figli.
Do you have pets?
Formal, ha animali domestici? Informal, hai animali domestici?
I have a dog or cat or bird.
Ho un cane, or un gatto, or un uccello.
Here's a photo.
Ecco una foto.
What do you do?
Formal, che lavoro fa? Informal, che lavoro fai?
I am retired.
Sono in pensione.
I am unemployed.
Male, sono disoccupato. Female, sono disoccupata.
I was or I am.
Ero, or sono.
A teacher.
Male, un insegnante. Female, un insegnante.
A professor.
Male, un professore. Female, una professoressa.
A student.
Male, uno studente. Female, una studentessa.
An accountant.
Male, un ragioniere. Female, una ragioniera.
A doctor.
Male, un dottore. Female, una dottoressa.
A dentist.
Male, un dentista. Female, una dentista.
Ciao, it's Erin. We're fading out here so that we can keep our free streaming episodes a reasonable length of time, but we do spend a lot more time examining the language within our bonus materials available on our website. For now, back to the show.
Okay, dear listeners and Aaron, let's put all the vocabulary into practice. Aaron, come si dice numero uno? What do you do?
Che lavoro fa? And that's if I don't know the person.
Brava.
But if we've been chatty, then I will say, che lavoro fai?
Perfetto.
So
Eccellente.
so less formal.
Yes. Numero due, come si dice I am retired?
Oh, I wish. I hope all of us get to say this one day. Sono in pensione.
Perfetto. Numero tre, come si dice where are you from?
So again, if I don't know someone very well, I would say, da dove viene?
Brava.
But if I'm kind of getting to know them when we're chatting, I'll say, da dove vieni?
Perfetto. Numero quattro, how do you say I am from New York?
Vengo da New York.
Perfetto.
Yeah, lucky you if you're from New York. How
Sì.
great.
Numero 5, come si dice are you traveling by yourself?
Viaggia da solo, and that's if it's formal to a male.
Viaggio da solo.
Viaggio da solo.
Sì.
I'm looking at you. We've been chatting. I say viaggi da sola. So I'm saying informally to a woman.
Yes.
Okay. And then you guys can figure out how to say it to the person that you want to ask. Are you traveling by yourself?
Perfect. People will still get the message.
And I may not say it to a male traveling by himself because I don't want to attract that attention.
Well, if it's
Or maybe-
Raul Bova, I might.
This is true, but he's probably not traveling by himself.
Who knows? And now, let's hear some Italian vocabulary in action with this dialogue. Come fare amicizia in Italia.
How to make friends in Italy.
Che meraviglia, Ischia! E con questa bella giornata di sole.
Sì, è soleggiato oggi. I love it.
È il suo primo viaggio in Italia?
My first trip to Italy? No, è il terzo. But my first in Ischia, il primo a Ischia.
Ah, e quanti giorni rimane?
Let's see, I'm staying for 3 days. Rimango per 3 giorni. Poi vado in Sicilia.
Ah, che bello! Adoro la Sicilia.
Qual è la sua città preferita in Sicilia?
Cefalù, le spiagge sono spettacolari e le specialità locali sono deliziose.
Interessante. I wonder if she has a favorite dish from the area. Ha un piatto preferito?
Sì, la caponata di melanzane, ma vedo che sta leggendo uno dei romanzi del mio autore preferito. Qual è il suo libro preferito?
She loves this author? Oh, how cool. Let's see, what is my favorite book? L'ultimo di questo scrittore. I hope I said that right.
Sì, sono d'accordo, è davvero bravissimo. Ma mi piacerebbe rimanere in contatto con lei. È su Instagram?
Do I have Instagram? Sì, sono cristi.amma.
All right, so now let's teach you how to make friends in Italy. Come fare amicizia in Italia. Parole ed espressioni essenziali per far continuare una conversazione.
Essential words and phrases to keep a conversation going.
This first section is all about talking about your vacation in Italy.
Is this your first trip to Italy?
Formal. È il suo primo viaggio in Italia? Informal. È il tuo primo viaggio in Italia?
No, this is my second, or third, or fourth, or fifth.
No, è il secondo, or terzo, or quarto, or quinto.
How long are you staying?
Formal. Per quanto tempo rimane? Informal. Per quanto tempo rimani?
I'm staying for blank days, weeks, or months.
Rimango per giorni, or settimane, or mesi.
I am here on vacation.
Sono qui in vacanza.
I am here on business.
Sono qui per lavoro.
I go home in blank days, or weeks, or months.
Torno a casa fra giorni, or settimane, or mesi.
I've been to city.
Male. Sono stato a più città. Female. Sono stata a più città.
After this, I'm going to city.
Dopo vado a città.
What's your favorite city?
Formal. Qual è la sua città preferita? Informal. Qual è la tua città preferita?
My favorite city is...
La mia città preferita è...
How interesting.
Interessante.
How funny.
Divertente.
I love Italy.
Adoro l'Italia.
Happy travels.
Buon viaggio.
Good luck.
Buona fortuna.
Have a good day.
Buona giornata.
I will miss you.
Formal. Mi mancherà. Informal. Mi mancherai. The second section is about the weather.
It is today.
È oggi.
Very hot.
Molto caldo.
Very cold.
Molto freddo.
Cloudy.
Nuvoloso.
Windy.
Ventoso.
Sunny.
Soleggiato.
Rainy.
Piovoso.
Muggy.
Affoso. This third section focuses on asking about favorites.
And in the interest of simplicity, we've decided to use the word preferito, which is the masculine form of favorite, just for simplicity's sake. And it won't be necessarily grammatically correct, but you will be able to get your point across and you'll be able to continue a conversation, especially if you don't know if the noun is male or female. It'll make it easier. And the person you're conversing with, they'll be able to understand. Do you have a favorite?
Formal. Ha preferito? Informal. Hai preferito?
Restaurant.
Un ristorante.
Dish.
Un piatto.
Place.
Un posto.
Movie.
Un film.
Actor.
Male. Un attore. Now you've navigated this whole season with us and you're ready to learn a few choice words, a few cuss words to really send that Italian packing.
Now, listen, if you have sensitive ears, you might want to turn your episode.
Open them up.
Well, I was going to say you might want to turn off the episode, and instead you're saying open your ears. You're going to have to listen.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same as how dessert doesn't count when you're in Italy.
Certo.
Insults don't count if they're in Italian.
Yeah, some are polite, I promise.
Okay.
Because I'm a lady.
Che cavolo. So, Elisa, every episode we have a couple of practice lessons for me, and I thought for this last one, this very last one of our season 2, our field guide to Italy, I thought maybe we would turn the tables and I would ask you a couple of questions.
Va bene.
And so since we're moving into insults here, I thought who best to ask about what an Italian would say in various situations than you. And I know that you don't like to swear. You tend to be more polite. I mean, you like to use some of these like more choice words, but they don't tend to be vulgar. So
Yeah.
I'll ask you like, Elisa, what would you say? And then possibly what would, like Tony Soprano.
Yeah, okay. We'll give you more variety
Okay,
with
yeah,
it too, because otherwise I'm pretty predictable.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do this kind of like game show style. So
Va
I'll just
bene.
ask you, Elisa, what would you say if someone cuts in line?
My choice word for many of these things is cafone.
Cafone.
Or cafona, if you want to address it to a woman.
Okay. Now, if you are Tony Soprano, what might you say if someone cuts in line? Like they cut you off in traffic.
Stronzo.
Okay. All right.
Or, in the south of Italy, since I would expect Tony to have that type of culture, you might say a soreta to your sister or a mammeta to your mother.
What does that mean?
Like you're cussing out their sister or their mother.
Oh, okay. I could see like the car stopping and then
Oh, sí.
yeah, fights breaking out in the street. Okay, ooh, we're getting off to a good start here. What would you say if someone says a mean thing under their breath?
Kind of the same. I mean, caffone is one of my choice words, but anything like cretino, stupido, idiota, maleducato.
That's the one that I would
Yes.
pick, maleducato. What do you think Tony might say?
For listening to somebody say something under their breath,
They
he
never-
would dial it up like vaffanculo.
Whoa!
I mean,
Hey! Yeah.
Tony Soprano doesn't mess around.
Yeah,
right?
he doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is really good. This is spicy. Okay, what would you say if someone insults your dad?
Oh, here Elisa becomes Tony Soprano. I'm sorry, but pezza di merda. That's not a word I think I ever use, an expression. But yeah, you don't touch my parents, or you don't touch my brother, or my nephew, niece, sister-in-law. Nobody. Nope.
Oh, wow.
That's an absolute no-no.
I feel like we just learned what turns Elisa into Tony Soprano. Okay, let's move into some other situations that might happen more often. Like, what would you say when you can't find your keys?
Cavolo.
Cavolo.
Accidenti.
Oh, darn it. Okay.
Yes. Porca miseria.
What about when you get to your train platform and your train is just left?
You know, you could also use the same cavolo, accidenti, porca miseria. If you want to be a little bit old-fashioned, you could say, oh, per l'amor del cielo.
for the love of heaven.
Yes.
It just
This
feels
is very ladylike.
It's so old-fashioned. I love
Yes.
it. What if you get unexpectedly good news?
Oh, mamma mia.
Mamma
Mamma mia expresses frustration, but it can also express surprise, like good surprise.
Like a good surprise.
Yes.
And maybe when you get bad news.
I would say peccato.
Peccato.
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're ready to move into our glossary and find out a little bit more about what these mean.
Yes. Okay, so now you've all graduated season 2 of Italian for Travelers. And as a little gift from us to you, we're introducing you to words that in Italian we use to offend people or to express frustration with them. This is by far my students' favorite topic in class. And you'll see that some of these words are fairly polite. Anyone could say them at any time. We also included a small selection of rude.
More vulgar.
More
vulgar
exclamation.
terms. And to those of you who have sensitive ears, please know, like, I'm applauding you now. You're free to go. And for the rest of us chickens, we're going to stick around and listen to some of this.
You know, we really wanted to give you a taste of what it feels like to live in Italy.
Or to be in Italy. Mhm. You'll hear this even on a short trip. You may hear some of these. I'm saying that from experience.
Yes, esatto. So you'll be one of us.
Another thing that we need to point out is that Elisa has kindly used the male form of each of these insults. Now, if you were insulting someone, we could give you the male and the female form. But we feel like if you're pulling this out and you're insulting someone, they'll get the hint.
Oh, yeah.
Male, female,
No
chicken,
matter. Yes.
dog, squirrel. They'll understand
Definitely.
if you use the male form. So,
No worries about that.
okay, let's dive in. So what is this glossary titled?
Parole ed espressioni essenziali per offendere o esprimere frustrazione.
Essential words and phrases to offend people or to express frustration. Rude,
Maleducato,
pig,
maiale,
idiot,
idiota,
stupid,
stupido,
dimwit or dumb,
cretino,
imbecile,
imbecille,
peasant or bumpkin,
caffone,
uncouth or hillbilly.
zoticone.
So that's kind of like somebody who's out in the sticks, right?
Sì, sì.
Sort of like a
Yes,
backwoods. Okay.
yes.
Boar.
Buzzurro.
Buzzurro. Okay, wait. Explain this one to me. Because a bore is like someone who just tends to go on and on, right?
No, well, I was trying to find a translation for buzzurro, and buzzurro is very similar to zoticone.
Zoticone, okay.
Yeah, so this is like people with no manners, people who back in the day grew up without an education, peasants. Back in the day, this was a big insult, right?
Okay, buzzurro.
They're still used today.
Okay, the next one. Idiot or moron or jerk.
Citrullo. And this is a soft one.
Citrullo. It's a soft one.
It's a very soft one. I could even use it jokingly with my son and say un citrullo.
Okay. And he wouldn't be mad and he wouldn't.
No, absolutely.
Wouldn't be offended.
Very, very mild.
Okay. The next one is funny. And we had to look it up.
Next one.
In English, it's troglodyte, which is not a word that I know. In English, I had to have Elisa look it up for me.
I think some people in Italian may actually know what this is, but I've heard it before and I've used it before. It's one of my favorite insults. Okay. I don't use a lot of vulgar words in my daily life. I prefer to go with the idea that if you are educated, you know how to express your ideas and frustration towards somebody with a choice of words that don't necessarily have to be vulgar. And I love this one.
Troglodyte.
Troglodita.
Okay, so a troglodyte...
A cave dweller.
A caveman. Neanderthal.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what that means, troglodyte.
So that's way before manners were a thing.
It's not only that we're teaching you insults, we're also teaching you words in English that we didn't know. So English and Italian.
Yes.
The next one... You may have heard in season 1 of Postcards from Italy. It stands for like a despicable person or a cuckold, someone who has been cheated on.
Yeah, this is an Italian favorite. Cornuto.
And it's offensive when you say it.
This is offensive because it really hits at a man's main pride.
Which is that he's so great
of a husband that your wife would never even consider looking at somebody else. And if you're cornuto, it means, well, your wife or whatever, your girlfriend cheated on you.
Yeah, so it's offensive.
It's very offensive.
It hits below the belt, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. Italians love to use cornuto to offend other men. And if you go to the stadium in Italy, you'll hear this addressed to the umpire.
Oh,
gosh. Arbitro cornuto. It's the most common way to offend an arbitro.
A referee.
Yes.
And also, cornuto, like, it's the horns.
Yeah, it comes from corna, horns. So if you have horns on your head, it means your wife cheated on you.
Ooh. And you may see people do the horns as a hand gesture.
Oh, see, yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah, so also, I would recommend to us travelers, let's not do that.
No, this whole section is a last resort. You know what I mean?
So the rest of our season has been like as polite as possible. Yeah. Now we've reached our last straw.
Exactly. You also need to get to a point where you need to recognize these things being said to you. So.
Yeah, so if you hear these, then maybe, step back. Yeah. Go find a quiet place.
Show those, uncouth people that you know what it means and you know how to reply to this.
That's funny because I said retreat and you said nope, go forward. Nope.
Go for the jugular.
Okay. So speaking of that, like the next couple of selections are, they will go for the jugular.
Yes, these are a little bit vulgar. Okay.
All right, so asshole.
Stronzo.
Scumbag.
Pezzo di merda.
So piece of shit, basically.
Yeah. Well, stronzo is kind of the same.
Okay. Go to hell.
Va al diavolo.
So literally go to hell.
To the devil.
Yeah. Okay. You suck.
Mi fai schifo.
You give me disgusting. You give me gross.
Yeah, you're gross to me.
Okay. Sorry, Mom. Fuck.
Cazzo.
Fuck off.
Vaffanculo.
I heard this so often when I was in high school in Italy. Yeah.
Certo.
It basically means, well, never mind.
Yeah, that's okay. You can do your own research.
Search engine. Shit.
Merda.
Okay. Whew. Let's go to the next section.
Next section is a whole lot of very polite.
Yeah, polite ways of exclaiming, my goodness.
Mamma mia. Or perbacco.
Perbacco. What does that mean?
For Bacchus, the god of wine and enjoyment.
Oh my gosh.
Oddio.
I love that one. Darn.
Cavolo.
My favorite. This one means cabbage.
Yes, you may recognize that this has the same beginning as one of the vulgar words we just taught you a few lines above. That's why we have cavolo, which is a vegetable, so you don't have to say the other CA blank word.
Oh, so the F word basically sounds very similar.
Yep.
But quite different at the ending. So instead, you can reach for cavolo,
Certo.
which means cabbage. And who's going to be mad at you for throwing a cabbage at them?
Nobody. Everyone will applaud your knowledge of Italian.
Yes. Shoot.
Accidenti.
Holy smokes.
Porca miseria.
Love this one.
Dirty misery.
Porca la miseria.
We can also say that, yes.
Right?
Porca la miseria.
Porca la miseria.
We have variations of this one. We say porcaccia la miseria, porcaccia just by itself.
All of these sound so fun. So these are fine for you to use. Like I'm not going to repeat all of the other ones we just heard, but
these are absolutely fine.
And that's a wrap on Season 2, Italian for Travelers.
Congratulazioni.
Congratulations, everybody. We had so much fun, and we hope you did too.
There's so much more to explore with Italy and Italian, and we are already at work on Season 3, which will go back to the story-based learning of Season 1 and reunite us with our friends Julie and Danny Baxter as they travel through Italy with us once more.
Until then, we hope you find ways every day to add more of La Dolce Vita to your life and feed your inner Italian with sunshine, joyful meals, coffee with friends,
and of course, a spritz. Thank you for being a part of the Postcards from Italy family. You make this all worthwhile.
Until next time.
Arrivederci.
A presto. Ciao.
Ciao, it's Elisa again. As you can tell, Erin and I love to talk about what travelers can expect when they visit Italy. Not just language, obviously, but with the culture, food, and so much more. In our free streaming episodes, we only scratch the surface. But in our bonus materials, you'll get access to everything, including transcripts for each episode, as well as translations, vocabulary lessons, and cultural tips from today's roundtable. Visit postcardsfromitalypodcast.com for details. Have the confidence of an Italian even in simple conversations and everyday situations. With our bonus materials, you'll get ad-free, full-length audio conversations, practice exercises with written worksheets, and bonus graphics that decode gestures, road signs, and menus.
Our premium subscribers get one additional bonus not found anywhere else. For our Italian for Travelers family, we've created uninterrupted glossaries for each episode that include the English word or expression, followed by the Italian version, which is then repeated so that you can listen and learn, practice, and repeat. These no-fuss listen and repeat glossaries take the drama out of learning travelers' Italian. Listen in the car, on your morning walk, on planes and trains, even while doing dishes or making dinner. Each episode's glossary file features all of the mini-glossaries in that lesson, so you can focus on the terms and situations that matter most to you, like food, shopping, or sightseeing. This is only for our Season 2 bonus material subscribers, so sign up today.
If you're an intermediate learner, you may also love the lessons in our Season 1 bonus materials, so check out our website. Visit postcardsfromitalypodcast.com for details. Postcards from Italy is a labor of love, connecting different cultures as we explore the dynamic nature of modern Italy through its language.
And remember to follow us on Instagram and sign up for our emails to stay updated on webinars and classes.
Thank you for listening. Non vedo l'ora di incontrarci di nuovo.